Hey guys, I haven't posted a video in a while, and it's mainly because first of all, I haven't had the energy or felt like talking about anything lately. I'm just very, very tired. I'm very tired right now. Like, I stayed up 25 hours on Saturday. It's 2 in the morning on Monday, so it's kind of like Sunday night. Saturday morning, I had to cover 2 second shifts in a row, Thursday and Friday, which was not good for me because that's usually when I sleep, so it completely messed up my sleep schedule, just fucked it all up. And so now I didn't get enough sleep after staying up that long and going through what I went through, which was like some sort of nervous breakdown or something. I'm not really sure. I got up like 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, and I did not get a chance to get a nap because when I did go to lay down to get a nap, my friend texted me or called me, and he was like, hey, you want to hang out? And I never get to hang out with him, so it was just like, I have caffeine, I can do this. And so like I got up at like 8 that morning, and I had to go to work at 10 p.m. that night. So like at the time that I should have been going to bed after getting up at that hour, I was going into work. Had to work a 10-hour shift. So I didn't get home until like 9 o'clock, and that's when I went to bed. And I was dying. It was a bad time. I drank 2 energy drinks, but I didn't have enough I didn't have enough caffeine or sugar in me to deal with all that. Because Saturday, let me start with, I'm a little bit afraid to talk about this now, after this. But as some of you might be aware, I am self-diagnosed autistic, and that is because there's a lot of signs of it, and I've done my research, I've looked into it. I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. I was very afraid to even say that, I might be autistic for a long time, because that's not something you just take lightly, and I know that, which is why this really pisses me off that this happened. What happened was I made a post like at least a week ago, maybe 2, I'm not sure, but either way, I made a post talking about how I was surprised that I hadn't run into any anti-self-diagnosis type people, the ones that are real vehement about it. And because everybody that I have talked to and looked at have been pretty supportive, but I hadn't talked to hardly anybody yet. Somebody reblogged that post Saturday, at least like a week after I made it, and was like, hi, self-diagnosis isn't valid. And I'm just like, oh, I found one. They called me a neurotypical in neurodivergent clothing. First of all, you did not even try to learn anything about me. You made this assumption completely off the top of your head just because I said something about self-diagnosis. I am professionally diagnosed with depression and anxiety, so I'm already not neurotypical. And even if I was, you don't just assume something about somebody. There are reasons people self-diagnose. For me right now, because I literally do not have the time, energy, or money to go see a psychiatrist. None of the 3 things. I'm at work like 60 hours a week. The rest of the time I'm trying to sleep. The one night that I have off, I work a graveyard shift. What psychiatrist is going to see me at 3 a.m.? None. That's how many. I don't know how to go about getting a psychiatrist. I have no idea. I don't know. I know like one person who's in any kind of psychiatry, seeing a psychiatrist in my area. And I have to ask her about that more, but I still don't see how I'm going to be able to find time to see one. And I have call anxiety. I'm not good at making phone calls for that sort of stuff. I only just made my first doctor's appointment on my own last winter, and that was one time, and that was only because my boyfriend wouldn't do it for me. He's like, you've got to do this stuff on your own sometime, Hannah. It's not hard, I promise. And I did it, and it wasn't hard, but it was still scary, and at least I knew what to ask for then. Like, I knew what I was setting up an appointment for and when I could go into an appointment, so that made it a lot less scary. But I don't even know how to go about this, and it's not something I can do right now, sorry. And I have my reasons. People have reasons. There are still probably edgy teens out there trying to be cool by saying, oh, I have bipolar disorder, I just get so mad, and then I'm just so happy, I'm just all over the place, I'm so random. I'm sure there's people like that out there, and yeah, those people are being shitty by doing that. I knew a girl in high school who swore she had personalities, like multiple personalities. She said that they were all in her head, and they were her past lives, and like they were like characters in her head, basically, and like they disagreed over things, and they fought and stuff, and oh my god, it was so fake. Like, I didn't know that much about that sort of stuff back then, but even back then I was just like, she's probably faking this. I knew this one guy who tried to convince me the reason he was acting like an asshole towards me is because there was an alternate personality in his head, and it was an asshole. So he used that as an excuse to be really hostile towards me, when actually the real reason is because he had a crush on me and was mad because I didn't like him back. That's a really long story, but that's a pretty big feature of it. That was really awful. So I know what it's like to know... I don't know what it's like to have people fake a mental illness I have, except for, you know, maybe people who are like, oh, I'm so depressed, and I'm just like, honey, you don't know the half of it. But like a serious, like, thing like that, I guess I can't really say I know what it's like, but I know what it's like when people try to fake that shit, and it's awful, and they're just really bad about it. But I'm not trying to fucking fake it. I already feel sometimes like I might be, and I'm just like, I hate myself, man. I'm not trying to. I just want to deal with the reasons that I feel like I do have it. And giving it a label is going to help me do that. You know, I can find other people who are going through the exact same shit that I'm going through, see how they're dealing with it, so I can maybe deal with it myself, you know? But apparently that's wrong. It's just so wrong. I have to find the time to get a professional diagnosis, or else I'm not. Like, I don't know if you've done your research on autism yet, buddy. They said that they were professionally diagnosed autistic, but like, I'm not saying they don't know anything about it, but I mean, the fact is, autism is like a lifelong thing. If you have it, you've had it all your life. And if I have it right now. I'm not going to magically get it when some doctor says that I can have it. That's not how it works. If I've got it, I've got it right now. Simple as that. I had depression before I was diagnosed with depression. That's why I brought it up to my doctor that, hey, I might have depression. And that's why they took the test and was like, yes, you have depression. I didn't actually need a doctor to tell me that I had it. I had pretty clear signs, but it's always that self-doubt of people who feel like they can't have something until a doctor says that they have it, which is not how it works. And yes, things could be other things. I understand that. I do want to get a professional diagnosis. I'm not saying that I don't. I'm just saying it's not in the cards for me right now. I can't. How am I going to see a psychiatrist? I go to the doctor once a year, and that's only because I have to get a pap smear done to get my birth control. I don't have a choice in that. If I want to be able to have sex without freaking out about getting pregnant, and if I want my periods to be somewhat regular, I have to go to the doctor once a year to get a pap smear, and that's the only time I go to the doctor. And I make sure I plan that out ahead of time and everything. I work 60 hours a week, you guys. Like 50 something to 60 hours. And I work a graveyard shift, so that's when I'm awake. The rest of the time, I'm either sleeping or trying to sleep. The one day that I have off, I've had a couple more than one day off this past week. Actually, no. Yeah, I had like 2 days off. I was scheduled like 4, and 2 of them I had to come in to cover somebody else's shift. That happens a lot. I really hope it doesn't happen this week. I got 2 days off this week. But, like, what doctor is gonna see me at 3 in the morning? It's not gonna happen. That's what time I'm awake. I don't have time to go to the doctor. Especially not regularly. And, like, I also have call anxiety. It's hard for me to pick up the phone and make a phone call. Like, I don't like ordering my own food on the phone. I've done it. It's not fun for me. I don't like calling and making appointments. I scheduled my last doctor's appointment by myself, and that took a lot of energy. It wasn't too hard, but, like, I was nervous the whole time, because, like, what if they think that I'm saying something stupid? What if I say something stupid? What if I'm not going about this the right way? I don't even know how to go about getting an appointment, let alone, like, seeing a psychiatrist, like, in real life and everything. I just don't know how. What am I gonna tell them? Hey, I'm autistic because this reasons. And they'll magically be like, oh, yes, I agree. Even though I've talked to you for 30 minutes, you're definitely autistic. And bam, I get a diagnosis. No, it's not how it's gonna work. I'm gonna have to, like, probably, like, go there a few times. Which is something I really need anyway, but I don't have the fucking time for that. I just don't. I'm never fucking awake during the day like a normal person anymore. And whenever I do stay awake during the day, it just leads to me getting less and less sleep, which leads to me being more and more miserable. So I don't know what the fuck this person wants me to do. Like, it's just not realistic. It's about as realistic as me getting a car right now and learning to drive. It's not gonna happen, sorry. I just cannot. So this person goes on my post and basically tells me that I can't be autistic because I'm not diagnosed by a doctor when I can't. And I told them this. I told them I don't have the time or the energy. I don't even know how to go about doing this. And these are the reasons I think I am. And, like, I've talked to people who have autism. I've gone on blogs and, like, asked questions. My best friend is autistic. I've talked to him about it. He's the one who first told me, yeah, dude, you're probably autistic. Like, you're autistic as fuck. And I was just like, I don't want to say that, though, because I don't want to self-diagnose. He's like, dude, like, he's like, if anybody tries to tell you that you're not valid, I will fight them. And I'm just like, I love you, man. He's like the awesomest. But, like, I was like, I don't want to say anything until I've heard a professional opinion. He's like, I understand, and as a professional autistic person, you're in. Love that guy. But, so, like, I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I'm not doing this to be fun or different or edgy. I'm doing this because it legit is a possibility. It's a very strong possibility, and it's by treating it as such, as, like, reality, I do better with labels. Like, I gotta know what I am and who I am. Like, I was so happy when I found out that there was a specific word for people who won't have sex with somebody or they won't be sexually attracted to somebody until they're really emotionally bonded with them, because that's so me. I didn't know that was a thing, but when I found out about it, I was like, holy shit, there's a word for this, and there are other people who it applies to, and it's not just me. That's really cool. Like, I didn't think that it was going to be, like, a huge deal or anything, but once I found out that it was a thing, that was exciting. So I get excited when I find new labels for myself, because I like to put in words who I am, what I am, why I am. So this is just another one of those things. Like, when I was thinking that I might have depression, I was thinking, like, oh, well, I have constant fatigue, no motivation, feeling hopeless, sometimes suicidal thoughts, I kind of want to die all the time, but I could just be really bad at being a person, and I could just have an awful personality. That could be it too. No, it wasn't it. I have depression. There's a reason for it. There's a reason I'm like this, and it's not just me being fucking stupid or, like, awful. And, like, if I'm autistic, then there's a reason for a lot of other things that I do, which is nice, because I don't want to think that, like, the weird shit that I do is just me being, like, not a functional human being, because I'm just not a functional human being, not because I actually have a reason to not completely be a functional human being. Like, I would like to have reasons for this. I would like to have some explanation, like, brain, why are you like this? But they just kept denying it and saying that it was bad to self-diagnose and that I shouldn't do it and that I can't be autistic because I haven't seen a professional. And like, it did bother me. Like, usually trolls like that, like, I don't think they were really a troll, because I went on their blog and they actually reblogged other stuff other than fighting with people over self-diagnosis and shit. They just seemed kind of like a shitty person, honestly, but they did seem like a real person still. And but usually people who want to argue with me and shit over things don't bother me so much. I kind of laugh at them, honestly. Like, it gives me something to do. Nobody talks to me on Tumblr hardly at all, except for my friends who I know in real life and can text them. Like, and I love getting asks and stuff, and people replying to my posts and being like, hey, and stuff, and I love that. So I love getting attention. I love constant validation. But this person actually did upset me, because it's not like I don't question it myself. It's not like I'm already, like, it's not like I'm just completely like 100% belief in this thing. It's not. I question myself all the time. Like, every time I follow a few autistic blogs now. Every time I see a post that's talking about it, and it's like, they're talking about, like, having meltdowns, or like completely like having, like, smiling without realizing it and having the wrong facial expressions and all this other stuff that doesn't apply to me. Like, I know not every autistic trait is going to apply to not every autistic person, but even so, I see the ones that a lot of autistic people seem to relate to, and I'm just like, but that's not me. So am I really autistic just because I don't have this one trait? I'm constantly questioning it, and then it takes a while for me to get back to, like, yeah, there's still a lot of signs other than, like, that one sign that I do have. And it's just awful, because, like, somebody else questioning makes it worse, even if they don't even fucking know me in real life, or, like, have ever even looked at any of my posts or my blog or anything. Like, my blog's pretty telling about me. I post a lot of personal shit on there, but, like, it did upset me, and, like, I would have let it go. I did let it go. I let the post go. I stopped responding to it, and I would have been fine, but, like, more people reblogging it from them saying, oh, this person's so awful, like, fuck them, I have a brother who's autistic, fuck them. Oh, well, it takes years to understand mental disorders and stuff. Oh my god, shut up. Like, first of all, I may not have known a lot about autism until, like, the past year or two, but I've been living with my own brain for 20 years, so I know myself pretty well, I think. And when I've taken diagnostic quizzes, not like to get a diagnosis, they say, just to see if you should seek one. When I've taken them, I've always been right on, like, right within the range of, yeah, you're probably autistic. I've always, like, when it's like a quiz, when it's like this number and above, probably autistic, I always get, like, that number, like, the number above it, and just on the borderline. Probably if I got a diagnosis, I'd be diagnosed with Asperger's. But and my parents, or my dad, said that he never saw any clear signs, but for one thing, he was always working. For another thing, girls are often underdiagnosed too, because apparently a lot of signs are, like, male-based more, like, I don't know. I read all this stuff. I don't retain any of it, or I retain some of it, but not all of it. I have issues with my memory sometimes, and it's awful, especially lately. Lately it's been really bad, but, like, yeah, those people that were just basically saying fuck you to me for thinking that I had something, and just daring to think this without asking a doctor first. Apparently I'm just a piece of shit for that, even though it's helping me to get support and to seek coping methods. But apparently I'm just a shitty person. Thanks. So that did upset me. That sort of stuff usually doesn't, but this time it did. And so there was that, plus the fact that I was fucking exhausted from being up all day and not being able to go to bed. And there was probably other shit too. I don't even know. I had to deal with people that I didn't like, which was not a fun time. My hormones have been off because I had to go a month without my birth control. It just poofed out, it vanished. I went and got it a few days late, actually. And when I came into the house, somewhere between getting out of the car and coming into the house, I put it down somewhere and it just mysteriously vanished completely, right after. It was incredible. I couldn't find it anywhere. Me and my boyfriend both searched the bedroom, could not find it. It's still missing. I don't know what happened to it, but I gotta get another one today, because I was supposed to get it yesterday and I forgot because I was just so fucking tired all day. And so for a month I've been without my birth control. My hormones have been fucked up. I've been sleeping erratically because night shift and covering other people's shifts and working so much, and it's just not a good time for me mentally already. And then staying up probably pushed it past that, staying up and those awful people. So I had some kind of fucking mental breakdown or something at 4 a.m. And it was really awful because I was trying so hard to do things. I was at work. I had to sweep and mop and stuff, and I was trying so hard to sweep at least. And I just had to keep stopping because I was just feeling so gross and bad, and I started having really, I don't know whether it was intrusive thoughts and then the urge to act on them, or just really violent, strong, self-destructive urges. Because I was literally it's pretty annoying when you're man, I feel really bad, what should I do? And your brain, all the brain solutions that it provides are just rip your entire face off with your fingernails. Just go run head first into a wall until your skull cracks. Just, I don't know, throw yourself off a building. Put your fist through the window. Just scream. Things like that. Just things that would not be good for me. And it was really awful, and I kept trying to make them go away, and they were very strong, and I didn't do any of the extreme ones. I did at one point, tap my head against a wall a couple of times, but not, hard enough to even hurt at all. Just, to kind of stop that for a minute, which, that felt kind of good. I made, really awful noises. One part I shook a shelf. I just grabbed it and shook it a little bit, and I was I shouldn't do that. I might break it or something, and that would just be my luck right there. But it was just really awful, and I was trying not to cry because you can see my makeup. You can see how fly I look, and it was like that yesterday. I had really fly ass makeup. I've been doing my makeup, and I got some new this eyeshadow shit. I got some new eyeliner too, but it's really awful, so I'm not even using it. But I really feel this looks really good on me. So, I couldn't cry. I didn't want to mess up my makeup. And, so I was just, fighting this, and I was, trying so hard to just sweep the floor, Hannah. Just sweep the floor, and I just fucking couldn't. I got, half of it swept, and then there was, a pile of dirt in the middle of the floor, and I was just, sitting on the floor, dying. And I texted one of my friends on Tumblr because I could see she was posting shit, but I wasn't sure if it was her cue or not. And I was just hey, I'm having a really, really bad time right now, and I'd like to talk to somebody if you're up. But if not, it's cool. And she's actually, me and our other friend are up right now, and we can come visit you if you want. And I was just I mean, you don't have to, but that'd be really nice. And they did. And I was just they gave me lots of hugs and made me laugh and hung out and stuff. I felt much better after that, except for still really exhausted. But that was really nice of them. Shout out to Kelsey and Heather for being the real MVPs there. That made me feel a whole lot better. But I was hearing voices that weren't there, Like, I was in the back sweeping, and I was like, who is that fucking talking? What the fuck? And I was like trying to listen. I could just vaguely hear a voice, and I couldn't make out what it was saying or anything, but I could hear it. And I was just like, what in the fucking hell is that? Like, what is going on? And that's partially probably what pushed me over the edge, because I was literally just like, nobody else is in here. What is going on? And I was just like, I'm losing it. This is it. I've completely snapped. My brain's gone. That's good. I'm deranged now. Cool. And it was just an awful time. I couldn't breathe. It was, I don't know what exactly that was. It was some kind of attack or breakdown. Holy shit. The safe likes to do things at this time of the morning. It's like 3. I need to sleep today now. But I don't really want to get up yet, because I'm so fucking tired. I did get to go home and go to bed, but it wasn't enough. I didn't get to sleep enough, and I'm just dying, you guys. I'm just dying. But yeah, and the thing that pissed me off about that post the most, not just the people who were reblogging it from the person who argued with me and were saying, like, fuck you, but the person who argued with me, their last comment on it, because my last comment was like, now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna let this post go, because I'm actually starting to get a little upset about this. And their last comment was like, okay, I understand, sorry if I upset you, it wasn't my intent, have a nice rest of your day. And I'm just like, it wasn't your intent. So then what was your intent when you came onto my post that was like over a week old? So I know you were looking for people to argue with. You had to have been in the tag. And like, just got on there and started invalidating me and assuming things about me without even trying to find out the truth. And fucking just being really rude and not even trying to understand where I was coming from or anything. What was your intent then if it wasn't to upset me? Because if you were trying to, like, make me think something else, trust me, I know all of the arguments against self-diagnosis, and I understand some of them. You're not educating me when you're coming onto my post and being like that. I already know, and I already know why I'm self-diagnosing too. So if you could maybe educate yourself on that, that'd be nice. And I understand both sides. But in this case, I'm not trying to fucking fake it. And I fucking hate that people won't even listen to the reasons why I think I am or anything. Like, I listed some reasons, like, not all of them, obviously, because I can never remember all of the ones that I think of. But the main ones that I, like, can always recall, I listed some of them on there. And I was just like, these are some big signs, and I have other signs too. So this is why I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I'm not making this shit up. This is my personality, and many of these things fit. So, like, what? And I did not have a nice rest of my day either. Thank you very much. I actually had a fucking mental breakdown of some sort at work while I was trying to do my job. And the only reason I was able to calm down was because my friends came in and, like, gave me lots of squeezes and talked with me and stuff and made me feel better. Like, think what you say before you say it. Think what you post before you post it. Try to understand other people. It's not a hard thing. Like, I went on their blog and they were just a really rude person in general. So, I'm just tired, man. That was too much for me. And it really pissed me off, and it really upset me. And honestly, one of their comments was like, I explained it, everything, why and stuff, and they're like, I still think this is wrong. I don't want people taking our safe spaces away. I'm like, bro, I don't even go into autistic safe spaces except for maybe to anonymously ask a question, is this an autism thing? Or, like, to look at other people's experiences. I don't try to, like, take your spaces away. In fact, this is the whole reason that I don't go into them. Because people like you make me feel like I'm just not even welcome at all. Even if I am autistic right now, because a doctor hasn't said I am, I'm apparently not autistic enough. That's not really how it works. You don't magically gain a mental illness when a doctor says you have it. You've had it the whole time. That's why the doctor says you have it, because you've shown signs of it. I'm not going to magically gain autism when a doctor tells me, congratulations, you have autism. I didn't magically gain depression when the doctor told me, hey, yeah, you definitely have depression. None of that makes any sense to even think about. If I have autism, I have it right now. I've had it, and you've told me I haven't. So, think about that. I'm pretty much done, because I really need to actually get to work. I'm just super, super tired, and I really don't want to work right now. I'm kind of stalling. Fucking safe. I need to see if the Wi-Fi is back on too, because it turned off on me earlier. It interrupted me when I was making this video the first time. And I had to start over, which is annoying. So, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get on my actual work duties. And hopefully I'll have enough energy to get through. I have Oreos, so that's nice. So I'll see you guys later. If you have any questions or comments, there's a comment section for that. If you want me to talk about anything in particular, I can still share my opinions on things without having to choose my opinions myself. If you want to hear me talk about anything, if you want to hear what I have to say about anything, you can go ahead and leave a comment. If you want to hear me debate over things with myself or against somebody, just, have a nice day. Be nice to people. Like, listen to their experiences. Their experiences are as valid as yours. They may have opinions that are just flat out, like, rude. But that doesn't mean that you can just be really mean to them. That's a good way to turn them off to things. Like, when I first joined Tumblr, and I was, like, kind of a piece of shit back then. Not necessarily, like, really awful, but, I thought that racist jokes or gay jokes and stuff were funny. I wasn't educated about this stuff. I was ignorant. I'm still learning on racism. Back then, I thought I was just a regular straight girl TM, but, I'm still learning on the racism. I'm never gonna stop learning on that, and, transgender issues and stuff is still a journey, but the other things I've kind of learned more about now, and it's easier to learn about them when you're experiencing them. But either way, when I first joined Tumblr, if somebody had fucking attacked me because I said something like gross, instead of just saying, hey, this is gross and this is why, then I would have probably just left the website and been like, you're just overreacting and you need to stop, and oh my god, everybody on this website is just terrible, I'm leaving. That's what I would have done. No, I was slowly dipped into it, thank God. And that's how I learned. It was not because people being mean to me, but because I saw things that told me, hey, this is wrong, in a way that was easier to understand than somebody calling me a piece of shit. So remember that next time somebody says something gross and you just want to go off on them. They may not know. You need to look into that first. If they already know and they're still doing it on purpose, then yeah, they are shitty. But they may not know. Just remember that. So, I'll talk to you guys some other time. Hopefully about something more interesting than a mental breakdown that I had on 25 hours of sleep and some asshole saying that I wasn't valid for something. Maybe I'll think of something really fun to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about the Stephen Nuke when it's over. I tried to make a review one week, and then I didn't get to make a review the second week, and I was just... Maybe I'll just review all of it all together and die. So I'll see you guys. Bye.